Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So, yesterday, worked on the strand that I always consider really hard. The strand from hell, just over on the left there. Or right, yes, on the right. Her left. And I got it looking pretty alright, I think. I'm gonna touch a couple of things up here, and then today I just need to line it up with the left and the bottom turns, which currently really does not. That's okay. That's what today is for. I just felt like there were a couple of spots in the little strand at the bottom here that were a little bit thick. So I wanted to go in and make them a little bit thinner. So that'll be the first thing. And then I can go in and really make sure that everything fits well with the other directions. But I figure I should be satisfied with everything along the diagonal first. Just to eliminate any, I don't know, potential weirdness where I get things lining up and then I realize that I dislike something. So, one thing at a time here, and that diagonal I do think is the most important one to check. Because that's the comparison with the original, where I have not deformed anything. So, I know that one is right. That one is not limited by my perceptions. That's just how it is. Yeah, seems pretty good. I think I can be pretty happy with how that's moving. Maybe just at the very top here. There's like a little spot where it tucks under the strand there. And I want it just a little bit thicker, just right there. Make this a little bit straighter. And then maybe this part right here is a little bit too thick. I'm going to go ahead and tuck it in just a teeny tiny bit. It looked like the strand was growing a little bit more than it was turning. So I figure just making it a little bit thinner there should help with that. And along with that, I think I should move the vertices in the center here a little bit more to the side. Again, just a teeny tiny amount. Moving it over nice and gently. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a lot better. Go ahead and touch up this area up here again. So these are all small things, but I do think they matter. So I don't mind spending a few minutes just getting them as good as I can make it. Okay, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So now I can start lining this up with everything going on down here now. I have to decide which angle does it better. It's always one of those tricky choices. I think there's some areas where the left turn here is looking a little bit better, but I think there's also some areas where the lower left is looking a little bit better. So I've got some choices to make. I'm gonna have to think about that. For now, I think one area where the lower left looked better was right just at the very top here, in terms of the length where... Okay, so I have to divide up the colors in this hair again. You can see that there's this big line of white going all the way down here. And then there's just this little splotch of red right there. And I thought on the lower left, that little splotch of red looked better. Or at least how the little splotch of red there was moving. So I'm going to line up that little splotch of red with the lower left. Now, one area where I thought that the left turn was doing a little bit better was if you kind of look closely right around here, it almost looks like somebody's like taking their finger and just poking right there and pushing the hair in. So this side seems to kind of come out further this way, and this side kind of further that way. And it's hard to describe, but that is what I'm seeing. Just go in there, it looks like it's been poked, like right there. And I actually think the left looks a little bit better there. So I think I'm going to try to line up this lighter highlight with the left. So that means I'm bringing things back over this way a little bit. Getting to do some fun stuff and off-screen drawing for Christmas gifts now. Having a good time. I am now adding the atmospheric lighting. I started on it yesterday, but I really got to do a lot of it today. And I'm having a pretty good time. I am going to have to go put it on all the flowers again, though. So this means I'm going to have a whole field of flowers to make pretty again. But it's considerably less difficult with the way that I do lighting here. So typically, when I draw stuff now, this, if you look closely at my process video of 0 that I posted, this will be, that's a pretty clear way to illustrate it, I think. And typically I shade things normally first. Just kind of have a light source coming from somewhere. Pick my favorite. Pick one. Only one. Have that kind of be the start. And then from there, once everything is kind of looking good there, I can just add as many other lights as I want. In 0, I added those really bright red and blue lights. Here, I'm just doing some with this picture I'm working on right now off stream. I am just adding some basic backlighting, so it's not going to be quite as wild. But it's still... It's, at least for me, just so much easier than trying to do them both at the same time. This way I have some time to focus on the proportions and stuff like that. I generally have the composition decided before I go in and start rendering things properly. So at the very least, in my head, I know what the lighting is going to look like, and sometimes I'll have a very rough version that I work with. Saw that in the picture with 02, where I did have a very rough version out there for a while. Until I just went in and made it all look pretty. Alright, things are lining up a little bit better now. There's still a little bit of feeling like the hair is being poked right there. It's not quite as strong. I'm gonna kind of debate on how much I want to fix that. Should probably fix it a little bit more. I just don't mind there being a little bit of wiggle in the hair. Because, like, it's hair, it'll do what it wants. It's fine if it moves around a little bit, but I think that's a bit more than I want. So we're gonna just get a massive brush here. Super, super big. And just pull this entire thing very, very slightly to the right. Yeah, okay. I think that's great. Now I just adjust a few things and all should be well. Hopefully it'll look a little bit less like her hair is being poked right through there. Yeah. Back hair over here aside, I think that's looking pretty alright. So now I'm just focusing on the strand coming down here. Just a little bit at the bottom there. In this case, it was this little loop coming through here. Trying to get all of that to line up the way that I want it to now. It's honestly pretty close. I think it's mostly fine. But I think the left has this area down, like, perfectly. I checked the turn from the center to the left and nope. It lined up just right. It was great. So that's why the lower left is being adjusted in that area. Alright, but I think things are going well. Maybe I am finally understanding the strand from hell. Maybe we are getting an understanding and I can just make it work. It's truly a miracle. I never expected it. I'm so surprised. With as much as I struggled with the strand in past streams, it's nice to see that it's just kind of working out. I'm gonna actually, yes, I do think I will hide that very, very back strand. Where are you? There you are. It's getting a little distracting. Yeah, now I can see much easier. I'm just trying to get the spacing between the vertices down the spine here looking nice. There were a few places that looked like they were getting a little bit compressed. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time just pushing them into good spots. Another case where I need a fairly large brush. I just feel like this entire strand is stretching. So I want to very, very carefully push it upward just a little bit there. Okay, I think the strand is fine now, so now it's just right here. Right there was the only spot that I felt like was stretching now. And such little bits of stretching are always very noticeable on strands to me. So I like to try to fix it. Okay, now the stretching is further down. So once I pull all those little vertices up, all should be well. I was actually surprised that there was a little bit of stretching further down, but that's fine. If I see it, I can fix it. I'm just appreciating how nice and warm my house is right now. It's been really, really cold outside lately, as is common around Christmas. Hasn't snowed as much as I thought it would, but still been pretty cold nonetheless. So I just hear the heater running in the background and everything feels very, very cozy. I actually have a fireplace down near where I have my computer. So sometimes that gets turned on. Hasn't for a while, just because I'm always afraid that my younger one will try to touch it and have a very bad time. As cautious as he is, it'll probably be okay, but they also broke one of the switches that turns on the fireplace, and there's just all kinds of shenanigans that I gotta work out before I can really use it again. But, in past winters. It's been very nice. There's just lots of ways that my house is very, very cozy, and I'm very happy with it. I think anybody that saw my house would be surprised to hear that I have it pretty much the way I want it. It's because I have little kids, so it pretty much always looks like a tornado ran through it. But I don't mind it at all. I've heard people say that your desk reflects your mind. And I do not agree with this at all. It's like if everyone was accountants, maybe everyone would have neat desks. But I'm not an accountant, I'm an artist. So my house, chaos. Just pure chaos all the time. Maybe it is a reflection of my mind, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'll just say that I think Angel's house looks neater than mine does overall. I imagine she has less opportunities for it to get messy. I think I am better about doing the laundry than dishes, though. So it's not like unsanitary, it's just very, very cluttered. Lots and lots of toys scattered about. Man, that little area around that loop. It's pretty rough. I really should have separated that loop. So now I have shenanigans to deal with. Okay, let's consult the mesh here. Maybe it'll have an idea or two for me. And indeed, it did have an idea or two for me. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Still not quite where I want it, though. Strand from hell, you were just starting to convince me that we were friends. And now it's just like this again. Or it's like, oh god, there's a problem and I have no idea what it is and how to fix it. Well, I have some idea what it is, but I don't know what's causing it. Should be the right way to put it. Such things are surprisingly tricky. So here, now that I am consulting the mesh, I'm just trying to look at the spacing between the vertices. And I'm hoping that getting them to be spaced out roughly the same will make my problem a little bit better. And yeah, it did. It helped. That's why I always say, the mesh is full of good ideas. Sometimes you just gotta learn to speak in triangles to properly ask it. 'Cause unfortunately, meshes can't talk. They can't tell you what's wrong or why they're moving weird. You just gotta go in and interpret the triangles. Okay, that still looks a little bit lumpy, but I want to see if I'm on the right track. Yeah, I think so. I think it's looking pretty good. Got distracted by something else, but that's okay. I can get distracted by whatever I want. I have to get all of this looking right anyway, so it's totally fine if I just see something else that I want to poke at too. I've mentioned in past streams that my art process is very what is bothering me the most at this very moment. Sometimes there's a little bit more structure to it, but for like 90% of it, really is just, I look at it and I say, I don't like that part, and then I make it better. And by the end, I generally have a pretty okay picture. Sometimes I think people make the process of making something a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. And it also helps that I work in digital, so I can kind of just get away with doing whatever I want. Imagine if I was a traditional painter. Would have a little bit of a harder time with that. Because it's like, as a digital painter, I did this with the Christmas gift present that I've been working on. I had a lovely little sunset in the background, and it's very nice. But once I added my ambient lighting and all of that, I decided that the head was not standing out quite enough. So I moved the sun. The sun is no longer in the middle of the painting. It's right next to her face now. And the painting looks better for it. I imagine if I was a traditional painter, that would have been a complete nightmare to do. And I can just get away with all of these wonderful composition changes at the last minute because I do digital. I like digital, it's great. You can just do whatever the heck you want and it'll all work out. It'll be fine. You can change your mind as many times as you want. I hate it when people act like undo or other such things that in layers and all these things that let you change your mind a lot. Or like terrible to the artistic process and cheating. I remember one artist parent telling their kid, who was also interested in being an artist, or teaching them, and saying, yes, you can do digital, but you also have to do traditional because there's no undo. As though this was, you know, some profound, important thing that needed to happen. And I'm like, okay, whatever, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with traditional or not being able to undo, but I definitely consider it a distinct downside. It probably teaches you some things, because you have to be a little bit more prepared to see the painting from the start, and probably a little bit better at thumbnailing and nailing perspective and, or not perspective, composition early on, but I am not sure if forcing myself to do those things would improve my paintings any. As opposed to just deciding it when I want to. I'm not actually sure if it would improve the end result. It would definitely improve my knowledge. That much is definitely true. But I'm not sure if it would actually improve my paintings. I'm sure that knowledge would improve my paintings in other ways, potentially. Just because knowledge has a way of doing that. But otherwise, I'm not so sure. I don't know why people obsess over undo when it comes to digital. It's very strange to me. As the moral of that story is, can't we all just get along and acknowledge the pros and cons of our various choices in medium? Undo is pretty great. So is layers and all these other things. But I've seen some pretty wonderful things that you can get texturally with brushstrokes. Oh, it also reminds me that I went to an art gallery once, and there were some works from this one painter who used, what are they called? Those little bags for cake decorating. So she was literally painting like cake decorating. And so there were these big, huge chunks of thick paint. So the painting was very 3D. Very three-dimensional. It was like coming out. So it was the one in my head right now is this colorful flower. And the petals were like coming towards you. It was really neat. It was really hard to resist touching that one. But I imagine the oils on people's hands would not be good for the paint there. That was super rad. And that kind of thing is going to be pretty hard to do with digital, because we're working in a 2D world here. You'd have to, like, do some very explicit 3D printing design. I have seen people experiment with printing, though. It's gotten bigger in some Japanese galleries. So I've never seen them in person, but some of the stuff on there is pretty cool. And then there's also stuff like holographic stickers and so many interesting things that you can do if you have the know-how and or the desire to learn it. Art is pretty rad. There's so many different things you can do that make things look cool. Alright, I think this is looking okay. I think I've worked out all the weird stretching and whatnot, so let's check this way now. Okay, so the only thing that I'm seeing that's a little bit off here is where the start of the gradient here is. Just needs to be a little bit higher. So here's hoping that this edit will be very, very easy. It looks easy, but this strand has deceived me before. I don't trust it with its promise that, oh yes, doesn't this just look so simple? So simple and easy to do. I'm sure it'll only take you like 5 minutes. I don't trust it. Okay, but I think it's actually looking pretty alright. Cool. Okay, maybe it won't be so bad. Can I actually believe? Or is this strand just going to give me a hard time, get my hopes up, and make my life hard again? I suppose we shall see very shortly. Okay, nope, it was indeed easy. Well, there you go. Sorry for doubting you, strand from hell. Alright, let's turn the rest of the hair back on here, and start getting this guy into place. I have largely ignored him until now, so let's get things looking good on the diagonal before I do anything else. Alright. How do I want to start this one? Because this one's weird because there's some shenanigans going on right over here. And then, of course, the strand at the bottom here is very, very crunchy. So I'm just like, okay. How do I want to start doing this? Actually, give me just a moment. I got a cough coming. Alright. Feeling a little bit better now. Overall, I am feeling significantly better than I have been. Still just a little phlegmy. And I do feel like I've gotten all my energy back. So yes, this is me at high energy. I've always had a little bit of a subdued personality. It was actually one of my worries when I started streaming of just, are people going to want to watch someone that will not shout or over-exaggerate at everything that's happening? Will I be entertaining to people as someone who is more calm and not prone to shouting? But then I was like, you know what, who cares? Let's give it a shot anyway. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I don't think I have to know the answer to that question. Whether or not it works out, I am certainly building skills in the process. And I'm having a good time. And I have indeed found some people that enjoy watching at the very least. How the heck is this strand supposed to look anyway? Oh, I just had a weird mesh on it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking at the mesh here now and I'm just like, man, it gets wide at the bottom there. Okay. Okay. I can work with that. Someday I will learn how to wrangle the auto mesh, but that day is not today. I think that'll be the upside of learning how to use the auto mesh, in that the mesh will be a little bit more uniform, so I'll have a better idea of what to expect. As opposed to me, who's just like, I don't know, I'm gonna press the button, and look, now there's a dot. Did it. And for whatever reason, I just keep wanting it to curl at the bottom, and I keep trying to undo that curl, but it keeps coming back. I've seen that happen to people coming out of the shower. It's like, my hair is straight enough that I don't have to worry about that. But, who knows, maybe Shalom came out of the shower before stream started. Give her a little bit and maybe the hair will stop curling in ways that I don't want it to. This might be another time where I need to consult the mesh somewhat. Normally this little guy isn't that difficult, so I'm surprised. And then I have to remember that the spacing on the vertices is much greater on the bottom of it compared to this middle part. So I'm guessing that the strand itself is just thicker at the bottom. That's probably why I meshed it like that, but it's covered up so I don't see it. Something like that, at least. Ah, alas. My throat still gives out so easily. It doesn't hurt, it just gets, I don't know, super phlegmy and hard to talk. Ah, being sick is the worst. Bodies are the worst. Make me do so many things that I don't want to deal with. I'm not surprised that there's a lot of problems with how the vertices are spread through here, because I noticed that there's a little, like, purple shadow right through here. And I noticed that it was getting super compressed and having problems. So I am not surprised it was because so many things just got pulled upward, and everything here just got all squished together. It's okay, I'm gradually working those spots out. So hopefully all should be well soon. I believe in you, my little Vertex friends. Be well, be happy. I'm just doing a bit of intense staring to make sure I've gotten things pretty good. It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I'd say right now it's still only okay. Lots of stuff that's got to move around here. Everything just being stretched out and moving every which way. It's unfortunate, but I don't think those vertices know where they want to go right now. So I really gotta help them find where those good spots are. It's like they just want to climb up. It's okay, little vertices. You don't gotta climb anything. You're fine just the way you are. Alright, looking pretty good. At least the bottom part. Still got some stuff to do up here, but down here I think I finally worked out all of the stretching and compression. So now I can just start getting this outer shape looking a little bit more accurate. And I guess I'll start working my way up. Bottom was bothering me more, so even though I normally start from the top and go down, I wanted to start from the bottom this time. So I did. Don't gotta worry about it, just do it. One thing I was noticing when I was checking the diagonal there was I felt like there's like this lighter, almost light pink orange here in this area. And I felt like it was hiding underneath the bang in front of it a little bit too much. Or I guess the hair strand in front of it a little bit too much. And so I needed to push the center spine a little further out. So this way that little light area would show better. I think the next step is going to be to figure out, if you look at the hair here, there's like a little bump and then it goes down. So I need to find where that little bump is. That is always the big task when it comes to this particular strand. Find where it changes shape, or changes direction. Where all those little angles are. Okay, there we go. That's looking a little bit nicer. Still don't think the shape of this shadow and highlight together is quite right. So let's go spend a little bit of time there. Make that all look nice. Oh yeah, there we go. That's much better. Okay, the bottom still a little bit off here. But I think something like that should be pretty good. Alright, there we go. Let's line it on up now. This is a case where I think the lower left looks right, so I will be lining this up with what exists in the lower left. Which means we're showing some more highlight here. Showing a little bit more highlight, and then just fixing this curve. Unfortunately, this means I have to touch this curve again. Well, it's alright. We'll still get it looking nice and pretty. There we go, not so bad at all. And I think it's already lining up with the bottom turn, so I think this is pretty good. Okay, there is one thing that's not quite lining up with the bottom turn. The connecting hair right here. So now I have to see who does it better. I think it is the lower turn. So I think I just need to adjust the angle here. If I can. Make it look like it's sweeping upward a little bit there. Okay, and then from there I think I will just pull the very bottom of the connecting hair down here, downward just a little bit more. Because I think that'll be easier than trying to change the lower left. I think that they're both pretty okay, so just a matter of making them play nicely together, and I think this is fine. Okay. So, awesome. That is the current hair all together. Moving around, and I think it's looking alright. Just let her wiggle her head for a little bit and see if anything stands out as obviously wrong to me. But no, I think it's looking pretty good. Look at her go. Just spinning her head. Hope she doesn't get too dizzy. Alright. Well, I've still got a little bit of time, so I can start putting on these other various strands. Oh yeah, I remember why I hid this one. There were shenanigans and I didn't want to deal with them at the time. Well, I can hardly blame myself. I just wanted to get things a little bit more complete before I started worrying about all these shenanigans, and I do not regret it in the slightest, because now it's like I know where to put it. Easy. Easy, easy. I did not move it nearly enough, but still. I always like getting this little strand into place, though. I feel like it adds just a little bit more depth and interest to her hair, so I see why the original artist put it in. I really do enjoy it. It's such a simple little strand, but it makes her hair look that much fuller and nicer. The artists that they got to work on this game really are all very excellent. I feel like I have much I can learn from them. You know, I thought putting the strand on would be fairly straightforward, but I really did do a number on it, didn't I? When I was messing around with it the first time. So there's just a lot of little things that need to be fixed up. And I need to find the right place for it, because I do not feel like it's even in the right place right now. So right now it just feels like it's lost with nowhere to go. And I'm just fumbling it around, hoping to find a good home for it. But it's okay. I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out. It's starting to look pretty okay. I think I'll probably get this one into place and stream after that. I'm really happy with how things are turning out, though. I feel like this lower left head turn elevated things a lot from where it was before. And I am happy that I was able to get it looking pretty good this time, because in my current model, I've never been happy with my lower head turns. It's like my chin just kind of goes blip and just stops. I don't think it actually goes down properly at all. But this one's looking pretty good. I'm happy with my downward turns here. And we just got one more to go. One more to go, and then the bunch of touch-ups I want to do in the upper turns. Because I learned things on the lower turns, and I want to apply them to the upper ones. I think I can make them better. And if I can, I might as well. That's how I see it, at least. Oh, this is looking nice. I really like it. Huh, why is it down so low there? That's so weird. Okay. No wonder things were squirming so much when I was trying to test the diagonal. Let's get this guy back up where it belongs. Doesn't need to be sinking so low down. Because this is a downward head turn doesn't mean that everything has to just fall into the abyss. Just gotta find the right angles and the right spots here. It's so close that I can smell it. Unfortunately, my throat is like plugging up here. So I probably sound a little bit funny. But I promise, it's just annoying. It doesn't hurt. My throat is not sore in the slightest. I think that's looking pretty alright. Heck yeah. We'll see what the me of tomorrow thinks, but for now, I'm satisfied. So I think I will end here for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you tomorrow.